Let's talk about what's in the Build Back Better plan. Families in your state of South Carolina with 2 children, on average, now spend 21% of their income on child care. The Build Back Better plan would cut that to 7% of their income on child care. Pre-pandemic, 14% of children in South Carolina lived in poverty. By blocking Build Back Better, you'd end a child tax credit of up to $3,600 per year per child. Senator, just as a practical matter, won't that hurt a lot of families in your state?
As a practical matter, my families in my state are getting crushed by inflation. 6.8% inflation number came out Friday. It's the highest inflation rate in 40 years.
Yeah, that's called gouging, is what that is. Obviously, it's also a supply chain bottleneck issue. So we had the cost of shipping things go from, let's say, $2,500 per container to $20,000 per container. And we decided that we were going to do the very best we could with what we had, which is a lousy port situation and no place to warehouse things. And Joe Biden actually asked if the people working at the Port of Long Beach, the people working at the Port of LA, could go to 24/7 operations. And they said yes. And the supply chain issues are abating, right? And you can see already that the prices of things are headed down. So we know that it was a supply chain issue. We know that for sure. And that supply is now meeting demand. The problem was demand after COVID, after lockdown, after come out wherever you are, and everybody went out, right, was that demand was so high and the supply chain was not good. So supply was not meeting demand, and we all know that the price is set based on supply and demand, and they need to be pretty equal. And they weren't. They weren't. But I will tell you this. We have almost full employment in this country now. The unemployment rate is so low, it's 4.2%. So when these lunatic, fringy, right-wing, South Carolina donor money taken, PAC-loving, live off the fat of the donor type senators come across, any issue, they're going to say, oh, well, it's because people were getting unemployment benefits and they sat on their behinds and they realized that they were making more money not working than they were. And that's the problem. No, we have full employment. People did go back to work. In fact, enhanced unemployment ended 2 summers ago. And people went back to work. But guess what? The demand for more workers went through the roof. And so people were able to use their leverage as workers to drive up their salaries. And guess what corporate America knew? Those people are making more now. They got an increase in their wages. Let's increase prices by just a little more than they got raises. That's what's going on here. Wages are up. Gouging is up. Supply chain is failing. Demand is up. That's what's going on. And there's still shortages. I mean, I can't find cream cheese. Can you find cream cheese? I cannot find cream cheese. I will tell you what I can find, which is just amazing. So there's this New York brand of whipped cream cheese called Tempty. Comes in a little pink container. And that's there. I guess Tempty decided that they would enter back into the cream cheese market because cream cheese is scarce. Seriously. It's hard to find cream cheese. You know what else I can't find? Half and half. There's something going on with the refrigerated dairy drivers or the trucks or the shipments or something, right? But that's what causes prices to go up when supply and demand are not equal. When there's more demand than supply, you're going to see prices go up. When there's more supply than demand, you're going to see prices go down. Right now, we have full employment. People are using their leverage as workers. This is the workers. This is our time. This is a time for workers. This is the time we've all waited for, where employers can't get enough of us. They just can't. They need more drivers. They need more longshoremen. They need more warehouse workers, right? And so wages are going up. Well, corporate America knows that, and they are gouging you. They're raising their prices. And then there is still a supply chain issue. This is why we need Build Back Better. And inflation, by the way, is not an issue in Build Back Better. Do you know why? Do you? Have you figured it out? It's really simple. It's because it's paid for. So there's no new money sloshing around the economy. The money is just being redirected to those who need it. That's it. That's all that's happening. They're not making money slosh around the economy. The money's already in the economy. They're just saying that the rich people who have all this money are going to be taxed at a higher rate in order that the people who need the money get the money. So it's not inflationary. When we handed out checks to people, that could have been inflationary, could have been. But this is not that. In fact, this whole lie about inflation is exactly that. And the fake CBO score, oh my God.
So the president says that the Build Back Better is not going to add a penny to the deficit. The CBO has this new score where they assume that social programs are going to be made permanent. And in that case,
Why?
it would add almost $3 trillion. So does that mean that President Biden will commit that these programs are not going to be made permanent?
Well, first of all, what you're talking about here is a fake CBO score that is not based on the actual bill that anybody is voting on. This was a request by Senator Graham to score a bill that is not currently being debated. That is his prerogative to do. But what our focus is on the existing bill that will lower the deficit, that will also, over an additional 10 years, pay for the $2 trillion tax cuts that Republicans didn't pay for.
Right.
They're welcome for that. So I would say, Peter, to your question, the president has conveyed very clearly, multiple times publicly, that he would like programs, if they're extended, to be paid for. That remains his commitment. But it's important to understand that when anybody raises a question about this new CBO score, it is a fake score about a bill that doesn't exist. And we should really focus on the actual bill everybody's going to vote on and considering in Congress right now.
Seriously, dude, Lindsey Graham is disgusting. And pronoun check, poor Jen called Lindsay her. Corrected herself in real time. Not even a breath, but wow.
In fairness to Jen, we haven't asked Lindsay what he identifies. I mean, I haven't heard him say it publicly anyway.
He's unmarried. That's all I could tell you. He's a devout bachelor, I believe is what we used to say. But anyway, here's Joe Manchin repeating the big lie about the CBO fake score on a bill that doesn't exist.
Senator Graham said on Friday that in conversations with you, you were stunned, that was his quote, by this modified CBO report that came out. Is that an accurate?
Well, I've seen the Penn Wharton report. The Penn Wharton report, we've been working with a lot of different people getting cross-sections of what really was a true figure. And we've seen figures pretty high on that. And then when the CBO came back and confirmed that, CBO's figure was even a little bit higher. I think it's very sobering.
You believe that? You believe that number?
Have you finalized your?
I'll be right back.
Have you finalized your plans? Are you going to the White House to meet with the president?
I'm going sometime today, I believe. It's either a phone call or I'm going over.
Go.
I've heard both, so I'll find out when I go in. But it'll be later this afternoon or early this evening.
And are you going to tell them whether you want to do this bill now?
We're going to talk about exactly what happened on Friday with the CBO score and inflation reports and things of that sort.
Oh my God.
I'd like to hear theirs first. The president's first, where he's at and what his concerns may be.
Would you believe that CBO number? I mean, the White House says that, look, this is not offset the spending, but the Republicans say this is the true cost. Do you believe it's the true cost, $3 trillion?
That CBO is not a Republican or Democrat report. CBO is the Congressional Budget Office, and they're nonpartisan, and they're going to give it to us the way the facts, whether we like it or not.
They scored a fake bill at the request of Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. I'm so glad we had April call us from South Carolina. I really am, because your senator is an impediment to everything. He lies, he cheats, he steals. See, but this is what money buys. Okay, everybody goes, well, so when they give money to senators, what do they get for it? They get senators in front of a camera lying and using their talking points about a fake bill being scored by the CBO. The score that the CBO came out with is based on keeping the child tax credit permanent without paying for it. That ain't happening in this bill. Now, if we wanted to keep the child tax credit permanent after, all Build Back Better does is extend the child tax credit for 1 year, it's paid for. It's paid for. If we decide we like the result and we wanted to extend the child tax credit for another year, we'd pay for that too. And if we wanted to make it permanent, a permanent feature of children's lives in this country, trust me, there are plenty of places to go to get revenue. This is what the donors know. One of the places we would go to get revenue is we would restore the corporate tax rate to what it was before Donald Trump lowered it by like 14 points or some obscene amount, because corporations, what? They're people. No, they are so profitable right now. They use all this money for stock buybacks.